Hello, third graders. It is time for us to look at lesson 4.5. And as we look at 4.5, we're going to be talking about shapes that are quadrilaterals. Now, what do you remember about that quad? We've talked about that prefix before. Quad means what? Quad means four. Okay, four. If you write on something called a quad, it has four wheels on it. Okay, and so we have lots of shapes that have four sides. And I want you to take a look at these. I'll let you pause just a moment so you can look through the different attributes of all of these quadrilaterals. All right, now I'm going to bounce through several of these because this is one of our jobs today, be able to kind of distinguish between these different quadrilaterals. So this is a square, of course, right? And the key attributes of a square are that we have all sides the same length and all angles are equal, right? They're all right angles, which are 90-degree angles. So all right angles. And all sides the same length, right? Those are the two things that make a square, all four equal sides and four right angles. Now, if we have a shape that has four equal sides, we call it a rhombus. Okay? So this is a rhombus. You used to call it a diamond, right? Remember the diamond, but we now in math call it a rhombus. All sides are the same length. So what gets tricky is if the definition of a rhombus is all sides are the same length, is a square a rhombus also? It is. Yeah. Now this is a type of rhombus. Now, is this a square? No, of course not, right? Because it doesn't have four right angles. So we have two types of shapes that have four equal sides. If they have four equal sides, they are a rhombus. Some rhombuses are squares. All right, look at this guy. Our definition for a rectangle is that it has four right angles. Okay, four right angles. Do you see them? Right here, 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 and here. So four right angles makes it a rectangle. Again, it gets kind of tricky. So is a square also a type of rectangle? Yes, it is, because a square has four right angles. But am I looking at a square? No, of course not, right? Squares are there's a lot that's special about a square. So any shape with four right angles is a rectangle. What about a parallelogram? A parallelogram has opposite sides that are parallel. Okay, this is the key term here, meaning that this side and this side, see how they're parallel, go the same direction, and this side and this side are parallel, right? The top and the bottom are parallel, as are the two sides. Now, do we have some other parallelograms? Yes, we do. Squares and rectangles and rhombuses are also parallelograms. So now a different type of shape that we haven't seen before is called a trapezoid. The trapezoid has one pair of parallel sides. Okay, this is parallel to this, but watch this other sides. Watch this. Why are those sides not parallel? Those sides are going to cross, right? See how they're going to cross right up there? So the sides are not parallel. So if it has only one pair of parallel sides, it has the name of a trapezoid. So you can look at things here, right? You have lots of shapes that are related. This is pretty complex, and I might go into it in our live session. But you can, if you just remember the different definitions for each shape, then you will be in good shape. So first, we need to make sure we know quadrilateral, right? Quad means four. So when I take a shape with four sides, I can put it there, and another shape with four sides, and I can put it here. Where does this one go? That's a quadrilateral too. Yep. Is this a quadrilateral? Nope. Three sides. Is this a quadrilateral? Let me move that. What do you think? It sure is, right? So quadrilaterals, that's a rhombus. This is a trapezoid. This is another trapezoid. Here we have a rectangle. Here's another rectangle. We have a square, right? And then we have some things that are not quadrilaterals over here. Oh, don't forget this guy. He goes in there too, right? So what these all have in common? Well, what do all these shapes on the left have in common? Yes, they're all quadrilaterals, and that means they have four sides. So we're going to take a couple of quadrilaterals and we're going to compare them. Okay, so when we look at shape one, right? Shape one, do you remember its name? It's called a trapezoid. So I'm going to put that there, trapezoid. Shape two is a square. So I'm going to think, what's one thing that they have in common? They both have four sides. What is one thing they don't have in common? It's going to require a little more, right? The square has four. There's several things I could say, but I'm going to go with the angles. Four right angles. That the trapezoid does not. What's something else? Tell me something else that's different between these two shapes. All right, so there's different things you could have said, right? All sides are the same length here, but not here, right? This has two sets of parallel sides, right? The top and the bottom are parallel, and the two sides are parallel. This only has one set of parallel sides. All right, let's do one together here. We might do this in our live session too. What do we have here? Is this it's not a square, but it looks like four sides are the same length. Let's handle this one first. What's the name of that shape? Rectangle. And I just talked about this is not a square, but it has four equal sides. What's a shape with four equal sides called? Rhombus. Four equal sides on a rhombus. What is one thing that these have in common? What's one thing that's the same about them? All right, they do have four sides. Can I think of any others? They have two set. I'm going to put this one, two sets of parallel sides. And let's see something they don't have in common. Well, let's look at the lengths of the sides. What do you notice about the lengths of the sides? The lengths of the sides are different. Different. If I can spell. There we go. Period. All right. So what do you get a chance to do? You will look at page 112. So let's go ahead and open to page 112. And I want you to, on page 112, I want you to draw these two shapes. You can see number one, it says sketch your two quadrilaterals. You can see it in your math journal if you because you should have that open. So I want you to draw these two shapes. Draw the square and then draw the parallelogram. And then you're going to name each shape. It looks a little different than my boxes here on the screen, but you're doing the same thing in your math journal. Then we're going to write down one thing they have in common and one thing that is different. And then for number two, you get to pick two other shapes. Make sure they have four sides and write down what they have in common and what they have that are different. Okay, that's our goal today, really looking at quadrilaterals and talking about how they are, certain ones are the same and that they're different, and knowing the definitions, knowing the meaning for the different shapes. All right, third graders, that's all. If you need any help with any quadrilaterals, be sure to let me know, and good luck.